Welcome back to the Crochet Crowders. Host my friends over at yarnspirations.com. I'm your host Mikey. Today I'm going to show you how to yarn wrap letters. Now there's actually a little bit of a technical way of doing it, and it's one thing that I've always been scared of doing, and once I did my first couple, then I realized my fears were unfounded. So it's something I've always wanted to do, but I've never done just out of the fear of it not looking correct. So what we have is we have some letters, and I have a ton of words all been spelled out, and I've been working on these over the last few days. And so you can see that there is the back of the letter and there's also the front. So you can see that I've tapped it with some hot glue. So to do this project you'll need some letters. You can pick these up at the craft store. I think it was like $2.49 Canadian. And so when I look at this, it's a nice thick, almost like a board. It is a board, and then it's really awesome. So the back of the letter has the barcodes on it. So it's really quite an awesome thing. I can't make these letters look so good, so for the cost of the investment of doing the letters and buying the letters already pre-done is awesome. So now it's up to us to wrap our yarn and figuring out some things to do in order to make it work. Now when wrapping the yarn, the secret is that you have to look for flat edges. So there's a lot of letters out there where they have little weird curves and stuff. So I found it really worked better when the letters are more kind of you know, kind of parallel to each other as far as the edges are. And you know, you do have some curves, but it's not too crazy. So what you want to do is that you want to create a whole wrapping that goes all the way around the perimeter as you see. So you can see everything has been covered, including the bottom, and what we want to concentrate on is how to do that with the least amount of work. So I can wrap things in complete going all the way across. So when you look at this one here, you can see that I've gone all the way around in this formation for doing this area, but I had started originally by going up and over so that I could get my bottom edge done and my top edge done in that particular section. So what I did then is in the middle of this R, then I went all the way across. So I wrapped it going all the way across like this, and then I concentrated on then doing the legs up, okay, because you can do that. And then to do anything like this you need to create a small little ball in order to do all the wrapping all the way around. So there was a thing that I realized right off the bat. I started off with a letter that I could not physically actually get the edge done. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are you gonna do? So in order to do the wrapping process, you can see when it's a straight edge or pretty close to it, you could just wrap all the way around and you're gonna get these edges here. But the problem with the C is that even if I wrap over, it's not gonna grab onto anything because there is a curve that it has to work into. So what you need to do is that you need to create like a faux edging here that is just covered over. So you can see the other C already has it. Okay, you can see that I've done it, and all this is that there are little strips that I have glued to this section here, and I folded down over top, so when I went to go wrap around it appears that that particular letter is going all the way around. It's like as far as the edging is going all the way around, but it's actually just stopping pretty much right about there. So we want to concentrate on making these kind of processes. So let me show you how to do this section here first, and then I'll show you just a general wrapping as well. So to do the edges here, you are going to notice that you have two edges that you can't physically wrap around in this formation, so you're gonna have to create a faux one, and this happened on the R as well. So for example, I could not wrap this section here and go all the way to the top because it has an indentation going in. So I had to create a faux section here, and this, you don't have to do this for every letter, it's just a few of them. And all you just want to do is that you just want to create little mini strips like this, and just want to put them aside, and you want just to create enough of them that you can go all the way across an edge. So just keep on cutting. You know, if you have to waste a few inches, big deal. So what I want to do is that hot glue dries really quickly, so you need to be really quite quick with your process. So what you want to do is that you want to tap the top edge of whatever you want to do the faux. So just tap the top edge, and I only want to go a little bit because I know by the time I get across this thing it's going to already start drying on me. So you just want to lay it down over top the one side, and then use your hand and just pull it down onto the top. Okay, so there's another glob there, and you do that all the way across your edges when you need to do this process. So I can see that there's no more glue, and you can just tap lightly down and then just do a little bit more section. I have found myself, if you rush the process and you're getting all kind of hung up, I've actually been doing this for quite so many days that I'm actually getting a lot faster at doing this process, but when I was first starting it I was pretty slow and the glue was drying out by the time I would be able to get there. Now down on the paper I actually have extra scrap paper that's been laid over top of my studio so I don't get any glue on top of my white background. So make sure you do surface protect anything that you're going to use glue with. So you just want to just tap it down, and while that glue is drying, what you want to do is you want to turn it over and then use the other remaining strips. And if you have to cut some more, then cut some more. And then others, I don't have an exact number on how many strips you need. I'm using Karen's Simply Soft yarn for this particular project as it has shimmer capability to it. And it makes the letters kind of shine. And as soon as you think you have enough to go across, then you're good to go. So now both sides are done, and so it looks like this from the side profile. So now what do we need to do? We need to secure those down. So let's do that next. To secure these down, you're just gonna peel them back, and I want you to just put a bead of glue across your letter, and you're going to take all of the section and just kind of peel it back. Just watch your fingers and peel it back. Okay, then turn it over. Just peel it up so that you can get access with the glue. And then once you get that side done, just move to the other side. What I have noticed with myself is that sometimes I get confused, especially if a letter C is pretty obvious that it's facing the right direction. But what I've noticed with myself with different letters is that sometimes you can turn them like the letter A and it still looks like the same thing. I want to keep all my concentration of glue on the back side of the project. So right where all the tags are, what I've done with the others is that I have just put like a highlighter line, so just in case I cover over top of those tags that I can still see another section to say yes, that is the back. So to begin the wrapping of the letter, you want to concentrate on what the front side looks like at all times. But in order to begin, what you want to do is that you want to just tap the glue on the back side, see this? And you want to just go along close to the top of the section, and that's where you're going to start your other strand. Okay, and this will go tapping onto it and let it dry for a second. And what you want to do to keep this from sliding off, you want to tap a little bit of glue, and you don't have to use a lot of glue with this project, but you want to tap a little bit of glue on this edge and this edge, so at least when you wrap the first few is that it's going to get stuck in a position. Okay, so let's just wrap. So C can be quite interesting to wrap because sometimes you have to make your way. So as I'm wrapping it, I'm going right up over top of the glue, and I'm looking at the front side of the project right now, and I can tell that because there's no UPC codes. So you have to figure out a way to wrap this thing in order to keep your hands and motion free. So sometimes changing the yarn ball location to directly in front of you allows the yarn not to come in from the side. So using your fingers, you want to just hand wrap. Now what I've noticed with myself is that sometimes it's impossible to get the absolute, like every line is working out. So what I've purposely done is that I go back over a second time and it looks more random as you wrap, so it gives it more of an authentic kind of crafting look. So I'm going up over top of these strands, and I'm really just concentrating on the front side of the project. So as you come back around in the bottom here, another full section, just go right up over top of the strands that are sitting there just to kind of secure them into position. Okay, so you can see it in the back so that they're underneath the stitches and or underneath the strand, and then you just wind it so that they're stuck underneath permanently. So the glue will hold it down on the front edge, and then these will hold down the rest of the stragglers. You can glue them completely down if you wished, but I've just found it's kind of a waste, and you know, I'm dangerous with the glue gun as it is. So as I'm getting close to the edge, I want to tap the last remaining pieces of the board with a bit of glue. I'm being conscious not to get it on, and even if you do get it on the front surface, just wrap it a few more times with more yarn Yarn is your best friend. And so I'm just getting the glue stuck into the fibers. Once you get glue onto yarn, it's pretty much permanent. It's like getting gum stuck in your hair. It's pretty hard to get out unless you know the tricks, but with glue and fiber, it's pretty much a done deal. So wrap it as tight as you can go. I'm just gonna change hands. So wrap it as tight as you can go on the very end, getting it stuck into that glue. And if you're concerned, just do a little bit more glue and then just wrap a little bit more. And then once you're satisfied, just lean it over and pull on it and run some glue. Do a line. Now how did I know this was the back side? Well, I've been working on the front side, looking at it the whole time. So I'm just holding this glue, letting it dry a little bit longer, and then all I'm just gonna do then is take my scissors and then I'm just going to trim that off, and then it's good to go. So that's as easy as that is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you one more letter, not the whole thing, but just the principle of it. So if you have more straight edges instead of having to make a faux edge just like I showed you, then it's a lot more simpler obviously. So once your glue is set, even if it's close to set, just make sure that you just trim and then you're good to go. So let's talk a little bit about an H. I'm not gonna show you the whole thing, but the H then is just solid, just wrapping around each section. So if I was to do the H, I would do this section all here first, tap it with your glue on the back side, and again make sure that you are very aware of what is the front and the back side. So I just take my highlighter and just mark it up, and it's just enough for me to see it. And I'm gonna tap it with glue and then start wrapping. And then once I get to a certain point, I can continue to wrap, and then I can continue to wrap it around the center, and then I can wrap it around the outside. Just every now and then just tap it with a bit of glue just to make sure that it's not gonna fall off anywhere, so right on an edge. And then what you have to do is that you have to go back across, because now that you've wrapped in this direction, you have to wrap in this direction to cover all this edge. So when you go to do your H, you'll be just wrapping around this section here, so obviously not all the way across. And then when you get to here, then what you want to do is that you want to jump all the way across. Okay, so jump all the way across and then just come back down and then just continue to wrap around this section and then fasten off. Then you're going to turn it over and then start again on the back, just glue it and then wrap all the way around. And because you went all the way across here, when you get to this section you can just jump over and then continue to wrap this section of over here. So when you have straight edges like this, the E is actually, I would think it would be one of the easiest, but E, because there's so many pieces that are coming off the main bridge of a letter, there's actually a lot of wrapping involved with it. So it's actually a lot of fun and I hope that you enjoy, and this is the way that you yarn wrap letters if you wish. So until next time, I'm Mikey on behalf of Yarn Inspirations as well as thecrochetcrowd.com. We'll see you again next time. Bye bye.